Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
Well, yes, obviously.
No, but I mean, how would you phrase that?
The zone will be one of danger?
No, I mean, not if you'd say the thing, forget it. Never mind. And you never mind, and also shut up.
Danger zone.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. My markets video came out just before this. Be sure to watch because I cover the S&P, a bunch of individual stocks, NASDAQ, and the ETFs as well in that video. Guys, where are we in the cycle? The summer top and summer drop. We got to 123 and change. Didn't quite achieve 132. But the key takeaway I want you guys to understand is much higher prices, new all-time highs are ahead. And how can you say that with confidence? Because looking at the 4-year topping cycle, 4-year bottoming cycle, I think it's going to play out the same exact way. This summer top and the summer drop that's going to follow is nothing new. It's the same thing the markets did the last 2 years in a row. July tops with the retracement, the same thing Bitcoin did. We're going to go over those levels in this video. I got some altcoins on here as well. Threw a bunch of them on here actually. SUI, DOGE, XRP, ETH, of course, Bitcoin. So we're going to go over all of that in this video. Guys, if you want to trade these markets, trade the cryptos, check out Bitunix. It helps keep the lights on. It's a fantastic exchange. You can fully register. You can register with just an email. You can be a Market Makers VIP there only with our link. I would really appreciate it. And consider checking out our Discord or join our website, marketmakers.trade. You can also join right through YouTube with the join button. All my education videos, my staff's TA videos, my videos, they're all right there and members only on YouTube as well for you now. So check that out. But let's talk about what we got here, guys. The big 4-year topping cycle, okay? We know we have the RMA warning. What is the RMA warning? We have the beach ball, right? The yellow beach ball. Each cycle now, going back the last 2 cycles, going back to 2017, when the RMA crosses the beach ball, we have topped within 30 days. RMA crosses the beach ball, we top within 30 days. Right now, we're about 12,000 points and change from the RMA crossing the beach ball, and I think we'll be there come November, okay, come November, we're going to be at much higher prices. We have 150 in between here, and then the 168 target up here. So it's all going to be about this retracement. How deep is it going to be? Where's it going to find support? But right now, guys, everything is on cycle. None of this should surprise any of you if you've been watching this channel for the last few months. We've known about the July top and the July drop. So let's go ahead and click through some of this. Looking at this on total crypto cap, got rejected right here at the 1618, right at 3.95 trillion. We can see this drop more, obviously, but ultimately I think you're going to break through, push towards that 4.72 trillion as you go for your blow off in November. Remember that November date, because in the last cycle since 2013, November tops. In 2017, you had a December 11th top, an early December top, but November tops 2013, 2017, 2021. I think you're going to do the same thing again this cycle. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, you can see Bitcoin dominance picking up here. You can see how fibs played out. 1618, beautiful hit, 9% drop. W fractal, you guys hear me talk about that all the time. Bottoming at the bottom of the channel. Bitcoin dominance should pick up some as well. If we look at Bitcoin on a 3-day zoomed out chart, there is my target at 200% at 132. Again, we got to 130, what did we get to? 123 and change, so not quite there, and we have this move down. So we're going to look at this zoomed in as well, but just zoomed out, guys. Zoomed out in a macro pattern. Where is your first line here? Look at where you fell to. You fell right to your fractal support, literally at 112. You see that? You fell right to the fractal support. Beneath you, you have this deck right at 109. And right now what Bitcoin's doing, and if you watch my markets videos, it's a little bit redundant, but at some point, if the selling's done, you're going to wave back up, okay? It's this wave back up that's important. If you do not take out your all-time high, this presents with you another shorting opportunity for a deeper retracement. And that's what we're going to focus on in this video is where could those levels go to? So if we look at this from a 3-day perspective, I'm going to expand this so you guys can see it a little bit. Throw this on here. let's look at this. Where we have that fractal support. If we go down to our April 7th low, April 7th down here, this was a 66% rally that most people missed out on. April 7th low, your 382 retracement, which is super bullish, is at 104.6. You see that? You're bouncing off fractal support. So if I was going to draw this for you, if you end up making some type of double top structure like this, let's say you come back up 105, 110, you can pull a fib on this, but you break back down, you take out 109, I would be looking at 104 and 98K. Where's that 98K line up with? Beautifully on that fractal support as well, okay? Those would be the levels I would be looking at. And from percentage basis, we know that Bitcoin's did 30% plus drops here, these big retracements, but I don't think you're getting that, guys. I think you're getting a 15% retracement or a 20% retracement. That's the two levels I think you're getting, okay? And of course, if Bitcoin takes out the all-time high, well, then it's not done topping. But that's the levels I think you're going to, is a 15 or a 20% retracement. Makes sense. We want to see how this pattern forms. We're going to zoom in on this here as well. Last year, Bitcoin in July did a 30% drop. Not expecting that, but it's not out of the question. And again, it doesn't change the overall TA because we know the blow off top should come in November. We look at this on a daily chart. The next key pivot date is Saturday, August 9th. If you look at what Bitcoin's doing, again, just understanding the M fractal pattern, there's your false break, right? If this comes back up, we want to see at resistance where this can top at, and then look for the retracement down. You're basically making a macro M top. If we pull a fib here from the top to look at the resistance, expand this some. Let's throw the 618 and 786 because it is Bitcoin. Likes to punch through sometimes. 786, see what these got. So if you look at this, guys, if you're looking at this from the perspective, again, of a massive double top, three-wave moves, this is how you get your double top, right? Move down, found support. Could be temporary support. Maybe it needs to retrace deeper, but as of right now, you can see it's trying to come back up. Where's it going? Watch your resistance levels, 116, 117.5, 119, and 121, right? These levels, the most obvious levels you always want to check out, especially if the market structure lining up like this, is a 618 at 118,883, right? Because that puts you right back here, okay? That could put you right back here. If Bitcoin does something like this, comes up, fails somewhere between the 618, 786, that's a potential opportunity to trade this. Where would you want to be on Bitcoin if you're shorting this? Obviously, you want to be above your previous all-time high. So it really depends where this goes, okay? And obviously manage your risk appropriately for the time frame you're trading in. But in general, you want some separation from these local highs here if you're looking at a potential short. Could it punch through? It could, but then that means that's all we got was a tiny pullback in the markets, right? If we only get a tiny pullback, then Bitcoin can go on a new all-time highs. It could punch through regardless, but overall, whether it leads or lags, Bitcoin moves with the markets, okay? So if the markets do sell off some more, just like they did the last two July tops, you're going to see Bitcoin most likely top and drop. To change that and to push up to 132, you got to take out that 123. Right now, you're at 114. Even so, this isn't a big drop. That's what I'm saying. I don't anticipate big drops here in crypto or big drops here in the markets overall. Just historical norms, and I think Bitcoin's going to be a little bit shallow. If we look at Ethereum here, guys, exactly the target that I gave you, 3,800 to 4,100, and you got the reversal, right? And you can see it zoomed out here. You can see it zoomed out. What do you think the logical move is? If this is support right now, right, which it's holding, but if that's support, you got fractal low, high right there. If that support holds, then you're looking for a three-wave move. Wave one, wave two, wave three back up. Again, another opportunity. If you do not punch through that rally high at 39.50, if you can't punch through that, then look for this to sell back off, because what's my levels on Ethereum? 3,050, 2,700. Those are my two targets on Ethereum. If Bitcoin retraces and the markets retrace, I think you're going to these levels, okay? So I'd be watching this rebound. It's all about the rebound if you're trying to play the market short. And if you punch through that high there, again, 39.50, then it's not done going up. And obviously Bitcoin would have punched through its high as well. But I think where we are in the cycle, August is going to be weak, right? That's what we're looking at in the marketplace. If you look at SUI, look at the channel. I mean, I posted this in the Discord. Look how clear this is trading in the channel. You hit the top, you touched the bottom, you came back up, you touched the top, and now you fell below the heart line, and you're getting rejected at the heart line. If we look at this from a Fibonacci perspective as well, you can take your fib. Let's go to this midpoint here, pull it up to that new high there, or that high there, 50%. 336 is right where you fell to. 618's at $3.11. 786 is at 27 cents or $2.75. And if you look at this from the deeper level, your April 7th level, I like to check all the levels, but you look at this from your April 7th level, you just fell below the 382, right? $3.40. So I would be watching the support levels, $3.08. Watch 276. But overall, guys, it's about the trend, okay? What's your trend? Low, higher low. Let's see what happens here if you can hold the higher low structure. Even down at 275, you've held the higher low structure. Overall, you're going to be bullish, I believe, with Bitcoin. Some of the alts are really going to move. Other ones may struggle. SUI is a really popular one. The trend looks good. You have your low. You have your high. You have a higher low. You have a higher high. Let's see how this holds. If you get the basing process here of yet again another higher low, then I'd be looking for a breakout for a higher high. But that's going to be after the retracements are over, right? So let's continue and look at some of these other charts. XRP. If we look at XRP, guys, again, look how beautifully this is tracking. Beautiful combination of Fibonacci, market structure, $3.69. You basically hit it within 2 pennies, and you sold back off, and you're trying to hold your support line here of your fractal high. So where's this going, right? So again, you can use your fibs. Let's go to the April 7th low. Pull this up. You fell below the 382, 50% beneath you is $2.63. Then you have $2.40, and then you have $2.05. So ideally, you want to see this try to hold maybe that $2.40 level. Be great if it can do something like that, because again, you have your low, higher low, and you could have a higher low. This can come down deeper and you still have a higher low, okay? So you want to try to keep your trends intact. It's important because some alts obviously are not going to keep their trends intact. They're going to punch through one way or the other to deeper lows and maybe not perform as well on the next run up. But just watch your support levels on these alts. If we look at DOGE, again, I mean, a lot of these charts are similar. Low, higher low, see where this goes, right? Can you continue this with your third higher low? So we look at our fractals. Look how they played out. Fractal resistance, right to the fractal resistance, and a sell-off. Trying to hold that support line. Let's find this April 7th over here. Pull this up. Right to the 618. Look at that. Right to the 618, almost to the penny. 19 cents. What's your next level down? 16 cents, 352, right? So you want to watch Doge, see if it can bounce around in here. If it falls down lower, then watch that 16 cents. But ultimately, if Bitcoin waves back up, if the S&P and NASDAQ wave back up to try to break their all-time highs, then you're going to see a lot of these coins wave back up. But again, what is that? If it does wave back up and it doesn't take out this rally high, it gives you an opportunity once again, right? If it does something like this, starts failing right here, starts topping to come back down, gives you an opportunity to trade these altcoins once again. Overall, guys, more high prices, new all-time highs, I believe are coming in the markets. They're coming in Bitcoin. This is the long predicted summer top and drop. You want to watch the market structures for your favorite coins, see how they hold up. I'll talk to you guys on the next video.